What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Introverts Extroverting. By now, you figured out I am Joseph P. Hutchinson, and I am sitting down today with a first timer on any podcast whatsoever, which, in my opinion, is fucking blasphemous because she is awesome and brilliant. She goes by the name of Darth Sidera. Say what's up, hon.
Hello, everyone. It's my first time, so please be gentle.
Never. We'll break you in properly. You better bite that pillow and say your prayers. We believe in equality. You better be able to take a pounding.
I gotcha. I can take it right back.
Damn right. So yeah, Miss Sidera here. She sat in yesterday and a little bit earlier this morning. She popped in for a couple of minutes to get used to our style of podcasting, we shall say, but more of just having conversations. Um, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, my dear?
All right. I'm a big nerd in general. Mostly Star Wars. Um,
I
I
figured by the name Darth, you
yeah.
know.
That's pretty obvious. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Star Wars is my main fandom right now. But a pretty all the space fandoms really. Star Trek, love Battlestar Galactica. I've got a Doctor Who comforter on my bed right now. Um,
She said
and
Battlestar. Battlestar. Oh,
Battlestar so good. Oh, so good.
both of them. I love both versions.
Oh yeah, they're both great. Yeah, so in general, I'm just a nerd. And I last year I started getting onto TikTok mostly with the pandemic and everything going on. Started making some content, and I made a lot of great friends along the way. And especially in that isolated kind of environment, it's been nice to be able to connect with people and just watch movies together, talk about our interests, share cosplay ideas. Um, yeah, so that's mostly what I've been doing this past year, just kind of really leaning into it super hard and connecting with other people and just sharing what I love.
Fucking A right. Like, so why is it like the star based stuff? Like, what about that was like that's my shit.
Um, I mean, like we haven't we've gone to the moon and we've sent probes out, but like, who knows what's out there? And I love the freedom with science fiction in general of like what could be, but it always ends up relating back to our modern times, and kind of makes you
Yeah.
reflect on like what is it to be human, what is it to connect with people, all those big questions that end up getting explored in those genres, and we get to like come back and think about how it applies to our modern lives. So
Very true. Very true. Did you see that we're going back to the moon?
I did not see that.
Bro.
Moon part
Bro.
2.
Dude, like it because for so long they're all like, we're going to be back on Mars in 6 years and
Oh
this, and it's
yeah.
like everybody's all just shit like, well, how the fuck they gonna do that? It's like, well, they're gonna go to the moon first.
Yeah.
Like, well, they're not talking about it. It's like, why the fuck they gonna talk about something they already done did?
Yep.
Like, this is NASA. Like, they're you don't know nerds then. Like, we're not really gonna hype up something that's like already an accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're gonna hype up the big next thing. So it's like, yeah, this oh god, this lady on a TikTok of all places,
Hmm.
uh, she is an astronomer. Is that's the yeah, not,
Yeah.
not astrology. Yeah, astronomer. Yeah.
Hmm.
I will fuck words up left and right. Like when I'm writing, I now go to my mentor to make sure that I have not chosen names for my characters that are Pokemon starters.
Oh, that's great.
He had to go through my book Victor that I wrote, and there was like 15 of them that
Oh
were
my
like
god.
Braxion and like all these like, dude, you know where these names are from? No, Pokemon, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. What?
That's fantastic.
But yeah, fucking like this they just launched like the test flight, and then they're going to start sending um, the unmanned supplies up there, and hopefully within my lifetime, we'll have a manned colony on the moon.
That's crazy, man.
Well, if you're going to be going to fucking Mars, you gotta have the way station, and we need the helium-3 there to establish proper
Mhm.
fission. I mean, if we don't, it's needed. We can't travel through space on our fucking slow ass ways now, and nothing we
Oh
have here
yeah.
can create that kind of propulsion.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a good test run. I mean, I know like astronauts living on the International Space Station. That's a tiny floating colony, I guess, in space, but um we're gonna have to actually put it to the test and have people there long term and see. We have no idea what the effects are of being in space that
No,
long.
I mean, with what, like, look, you see the head to words. Um, have you read or seen The Expanse?
No, I have not.
You need to fix that. The Expanse, it's on Amazon right now, and I think it's 4 or 5 book series. They diverge greatly after the first season. The first season really follows the first book pretty faithfully, then they do their own thing. It's still good, but it's a very accurate portrayal, like scientifically, of space travel because it has to do with the lack of gravity on the body.
Right.
And like people, their bones get longer, like that you go to Earth into regular gravity and it's torture.
Yeah.
Like that I mean it's a whole new species of human being.
Yeah, and
I
and
mean,
that's what I'm talking about. Like not just like physiologically. Obviously, there's a lot of repercussions from that, but like what does that do to you mentally too? To be in isolation,
you can
seeing
never set foot on your home planet.
yeah, like that's all you've ever known your entire life, and that's
Fuck.
and space is scary. It is big and it is dark.
Space is just about as terrifying to me as the ocean is. I don't mean to
Oh,
sound like a bitch, but
oh no, no, I'm really into deep ocean stuff, and it is weird. It gets weird down there.
yeah, my a buddy of mine, Enid, she's a deep sea biologist, and that like the funny thing is she's deaf, or no,
Mm,
she's mute. She's mute, and she
okay.
has the same fucked sense of humor we have. So like she'll be talking about like stuff she's seen and be like, dude, I freaked out so bad I silent screamed. I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that, bro. That's so wrong.
You gotta be
Because
careful.
she'll
You'll
unmute and do it.
oh gosh. Oh man.
Like it's like where have you been my entire life, woman? Oh my god! Like it's. I'm not gonna imitate it, but it is some of the funniest shit you'll ever hear. It's so wrong to say it like that, but it's like, cause yeah, dude, fuck the ocean. Fuck no, no.
Yeah, honestly, the more you know about the ocean, the scarier it gets. And it's like it's what we've discovered is such a small percentage of what's actually down there. It's terrifying. Like it'll freak you out if you think about it too much.
And the sheer size of everything,
Yeah.
like the actual size of a deep sea anglerfish.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no,
No.
colossal squid.
Oh yeah. Those freak me out, man. Those are
I'm
scary.
6'10". I have a hard time with heights, and
Yeah.
there's things that are there that are like 3 times the size of me and angry and will eat me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. Especially with like them fucking which squid are those in San Francisco? The red terror ones where they will just attack the Humboldt squid. Well, they'll just fucking attack divers and shit.
Yeah, they've got like I mean those tentacles, their suckers have a serrated edge on it.
Mm-mm.
So it's not just attaching to you, it's attaching to you with a serrated edge.
Yeah, like they're
And they have
not
hooks.
octopuses.
They have hooks. Yeah, it is scary. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Fuck that. I mean, it's cool. It's like the ocean is beautiful with all the different bioluminescence and the different types of life, but
Mhm.
no, no, no.
It is cool,
Ja-
but it's like I am safe on the land for now.
right? James Cameron's crazy ass. He can go down there all he wants, his little magical door or whatever at the bottom of the ocean or whatever the
Mm,
fucking shit was. No,
mm. No,
I
I'm
will
good.
keep my no. I will stay in my one atmosphere. I am
Yeah.
happy.
This pressure is comfortable to me.
Right? It doesn't squeeze me into a little tin can. It
Yeah.
doesn't like explode me like the vacuum of space.
I mean, not only that, but like the darkness down there is just like so absolute. Um,
Yes.
it's yeah. Actually, I just saw the Monterey Bay Aquarium is gonna have an exhibit soon about deep sea creatures. They figured out a way to keep them alive up here at normal temperature and pressure. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool and creepy.
Yes, creepy but cool.
Well, because the blobfish is one of those creatures where it actually looks pretty fucking neat deep down in its environment.
Yeah, and a lot of the things down there, I used to work on like sea anemones and invertebrates and stuff when I was in grad school. So there's a lot of like cool jellies and anemones and stuff. And like once you bring those above the surface, I mean, they just fall apart.
Yeah,
We just like into a goo, basically. Um, but yeah, they found a way to keep some of them alive, so they're gonna have them on exhibit. I think coming up in a couple months. So
that's
yeah,
crazy.
you don't have to worry about, getting in a submersible to see them, you can see them, like, with your eyes. Because all
No,
I've all
I'm
I've all I've ever seen is, like, the recordings from, like, the submersibles, and
yeah.
cameras are only so good. And
It,
you don't get a
it
sense of scale either.
I'm even see even that like I want to go on like safaris and like experience nature and shit, but at the same time I don't want to come face to face with a hippo. So I'm good on the
No,
scale.
no.
Like my brain it could be behind as much glass as it wants to be in whatever environment. I am still looking at something that I know wants to taste me.
Oh god. I was, kayaking actually off of, the coast of, Washington State, and, on the in the ocean by the rocks and stuff, and, a pod of killer whales came by.
Oof.
And, I their dorsal fins are, like can be between, like, 6 and 7 feet tall, first of all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the fin, like, you don't realize how big they are until you are a tiny human person in their world.
Yeah.
They were beautiful, but, I've seen what they can do.
I'm good on a giant murder dolphin.
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. I've seen what they do. I know they're called killer whales.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Like
a reason for that.
when I go into nature, I do not go unarmed. I make sure if it's out of my home state, I learn my laws and transportation and usage and storage. But no,
Yeah, like,
no,
as a
no.
human in modern times, I know that I am not anywhere near as fast or dangerous or strong. So,
Oh, honey, I am 6'10", 375 pounds of Oneida Scottish Polish anger, and I'm still gonna use the human advantage and have tools.
Yeah.
Like I would have like next to like someone like Joe Rogan or an MMA fighter or some shit like that. I'd have the best odds against an animal.
Yep.
I'm still gonna have my sharp stick and my fucking my slug thrower, and I'm still gonna pop some fucking cougars if it has to. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, gotta do what you
no.
gotta do.
Like even if we're in the fucking ocean, I'm still gonna have a fucking gun on my hip that can fire underwater. I'll have a fucking 1911, right? If some shark comes by, nope, slug, motherfucker, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
sharks are scary.
I love it. I love nature. I respect it, but
It's trying to kill you.
yes, everything in nature is designed to kill something else.
Yep.
It is what it is. Like when would you go to grad school for?
So what I did back then and what I do now is pretty different. But I used to study early development in sea urchins and sea anemones, so like little embryos.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and it's called evolution and development. So I
Hmm.
studied the cell signaling pathways that turn a single celled embryo or zygote into a fully functional animal.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. There's cell divisions. The cells, all the different cells move in different types of ways. They're receiving signals to become, you know, uh the digestive tract, or to become like the skeleton, or things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you were like, was it like the why behind things? Is that what you're going to where you were studying, or just the process of how it does how it goes?
So the process of how it goes within the animal, but also how that process has changed during
Oh,
evolution, like over time.
oh, oh
Um,
shit. Okay.
yeah. So, like, how does a jellyfish evolve versus, the way a mammal evolves? And then also, we kind of put it in the context of cancer, because a lot of the cell movements that happen during when somebody has cancer and they go through metastasis, where those cells are leaving a tumor and going somewhere else in the body, those cell movements, those same cell signaling pathways are almost identical between early development
Really?
and like what happens in cancer. Yeah. So by understanding how they work in one context, we can try to understand how they work in a different context.
Why do they move the same?
There's only a certain amount of like different cell movements. So sometimes the cells will like literally crawl into a cavity.
Hmm.
Sometimes a sheet of cells will bend inwards or outwards. There's especially the one where they crawl inside. That's very similar to what happens during metastasis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been like the why behind nature, and it. I don't try and say this to be edgy or nothing, but it's like I want to know why humans be like on the skin level look different. Like,
Mhm.
why do we have different shaped eyes? Why do we have different shaped noses and mouths and this, besides just nature being random? Because if you take away the nature being random part, we evolve, species evolve, from my understanding, different traits for different reasons. So
Yeah.
why? Like, not like in the whole like, why do everybody look different from me? Why can't they all, not like that stupid shit, but just in the sense of, why do we look different?
Yeah, and I
Like,
mean, as a scientist, like, yes, we're trying to apply these concepts to bigger, things to help people. In general, that's why everyone does science for some
yeah.
reason. But the big foundation, honestly, is just like it's literally just curiosity.
Exactly. That's what I. As far as why I love science fiction. I love being like not like an actual amateur scientist, but being like somebody on the sidelines reading like papers and publishings and all that, because it's fascinating. Like not you like because why would black people have wider noses than, let's say, someone that developed in certain parts of Asia? Like,
Hmm.
was there a need for it that it never developed out? It's the questions that I'd love to sit down and ask somebody that you really can't nowadays because you'd be called racist.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
But
a
it's
lot of
for
it
me,
is.
it's not racist. It's not trying to be racist. It's just, why?
Yeah.
Blame the autism. If anything, it's like because melatonin. Okay, why the melatonin?
Hmm.
Because the DNA. Why the DNA? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of evolution is just like, we're going to roll the dice, and this population has a bunch of different random traits, and out of those like five, organisms, hey, that one trait seemed to work out pretty good, and that one survives better, and then it goes to the next generation. And so it's part of it is like the randomness of DNA.
mhm,
Mistakes get made, mutations happen, blah blah blah.
yeah.
But the other part of it is like, if it's not neutral, or it's not going to help you survive, then it's going to be lost. If it's detrimental to you in any way, it's going to be lost. So
Which
it's a
raises
fun
my
balance.
net. Yeah, it has to balance out for the organism to survive in its
Yeah.
in ever changing environment. Which brings me to another question. As much as humans have been civilized for thousands of years, overall our facial features and our overall structures have kind of changed a little bit more in height and weight, and we become larger overall.
Mhm.
But our facial features, our ear shape, our hand shape, that has stopped changing.
Yeah, and I
So
think I think a lot of that just has to do with our modern lives because no matter what shape your nose is or no matter how well your eyes work, uh you're not really going to have a differential survival from someone else because, I wear glasses. If
same
I'd
here,
been
yeah.
if I'd been born thousands of years ago, I would have been dead.
Yeah. Like that would have been something that would have been eventually like bred out, you'd think.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
And
like
for everybody, sorry to cut you off, but for everybody listening, we're not trying to be all hot topic and shit. We're actually looking at life through like a scientific lens of like the big like why did this to this to this to this. Not trying to be like you're wrong because you look different. No, I just wanted to throw that out there because she's actually not just some dumbass with a podcast. Sidera is actually somebody in the world, and I don't want to fuck up her shit. Seriously, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want someone to hear this and be like, "Oh, well, he's saying this edgy hot." It's like no, it's the ability, it's the time to actually ask somebody a
Mhm.
question that I can. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it, um, a lot of it just really has to do with there's no pressure for it to change anymore.
I never thought about that shit.
Like there's no reason for those features to change if there's no downside to it. And then also, especially with modern times and travel and stuff, a lot of our DNA is getting, there's a lot more mixing of
Yeah.
different populations now, so that's going to change in the future as well with travel being so much easier.
Has anybody broken? Do you know if anybody's broken down the genome to see like exactly how much Cro-Magnon versus Neanderthal overall the human DNA? Like, I know there's all like the different like subspecies of
Mm.
human. It's just biology fascinates me. Ancestry fascinates me. It's just so crazy that we can, as a species in society, we can be where we're at, and all started from basically a fucking four-legged fucking squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Like,
one weird little salamander crawled up on the crawled up onto
and
the land and that was it.
and then primates become dominant, and then all of us like. That's why I want a time machine. That's why I love Doctor Who, is that to have
Mhm.
that ability to go back in time with a notebook and be like, oh, so that's what. Oh, so you guys got with you guys, and you discovered fire. They fucked you up. So got you. Okay, okay. I see how this goes. Because it's so much information that's actually lost to the natural ebb and flow of time that we'll never know. And the autism in my head goes fucking crazy because it's like, but why? It's
Yeah.
always to that question, but why?
That's
Like,
literally my job. My job is, "Hey, I did this experiment and I got this result. But why?" So I do more experiment. So I ask more questions. So I do more experiments. Like that's my whole
so
job.
cool, bro. That dude, that
It's
like
fun.
that
It's fun.
that's so cool. Like I'm legitimately jealous of you, dude. That's so fucking cool, bro.
It's fun, every day's a little different. And every scientist works in their own little niche where they might feel like they're studying a very, very weird, tiny, small process that doesn't affect anyone else. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it does because science builds on itself. Every time I go to start a new experiment, if I'm doing something new, I check the literature and I go read 4 or 5 papers on that subject and see, okay, this is what they did. How can I build on that?
Yeah. Or even if you think you are doing something new, you then have to see if it is something new.
Which happens more often than you think.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, shit. There's been times when even playing Minecraft, I'm sitting there fucking like, oh, dude, this is fucking dope. No one's done this.
I'm
You
amazing.
fucks. You got
Yeah.
it's been done for 3 years, and it's some like move, or it's like fuck, fuck, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yep.
That's dude. It's science is life is just overall like it's scary, but it's so neat. Of why I think like for the most part, as a people, things we don't know why things happen.
Yeah.
They just do.
Honestly, over my years, because I've been doing research, I've like 10 or 11 years of research experience, and the more I learn I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Which is fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great. Like knowing shit. Like that's one of the reasons I love doing the podcast. Is like I know a lot, but I know I don't know everything, and it's like in a good way. I like finding out that I'm wrong about something.
Yeah, or you're just like, "Huh, maybe I didn't think of it that way."
Like when
You know?
you like, dude, you fucking broke my you error 404 me when you fucking were like, well, also evolution won't change something if there isn't a need,
Yeah.
which I never thought about that,
Mhm.
which would have a lot to do with explaining why still modern humans look the way they do.
Mhm.
Motherfucker, dude, like
I mean, look at the horseshoe.
I'm keeping you. I am keeping you.
Look at the horseshoe crab. That thing hasn't changed for like I it's got to be more than
That's
it's
true.
got to be more than thousands.
Yeah. That's very, very true. See, this is why conversation is fucking key, dude. Like, and I'm so glad that you weren't offended by the way I was wording things. I wasn't trying to. Like, these are questions that I have had in my head for decades. That it's
Yeah.
like I've been fine tuning how to ask them, especially in as much more sensitive time as we live.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, no, I mean, it's literally just a question of it is. It's a science. It's a curiosity science thing. So I checked on the horseshoe crabs. 445 million years.
get the fuck out. That's insane,
They've
and it hasn't
literally
changed.
well before the dinosaurs existed. They're just chilling. Yeah, that's it. You know why? Because it works. That if it's
Yeah,
not broke, don't fix it.
that's very true.
And that's mostly how evolution works.
Yeah.
And you get some weird things in biology, things like sexual selection, where it's not a pressure of survival that like directly, it's not a pressure of survival. Um, it's more of choosing mates. Like there are these I can't remember where they're from, but they're these crazy birds, and the males grow really really long tail feathers, and so the females see the long tail feathers as like being virile, and they're gonna have the best genetic material. So what's happened is that that specific pressure has been so strong that the birds' tails are so long that they have trouble flying now. Like
That's
it's hard for them
crazy.
to like physically get around, like they can't it's hard for them to get food. It's hard for them to move, but for some reason that sexual selection has outweighed the survival of them just like taking care of themselves. So it gets weird. There's so many weird, and as with anything with science, there's always an exception. Almost
That's
always.
fucking weird,
Yeah.
man. Like, and you think in that situation that their ass muscles would have developed a little bit more firmly to fly.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean they're working out their glutes, I guess. I don't know.
has speaking of like evolution, has anybody studied like where these like mating like have you seen I'm pretty sure you've seen the video of that bird that's like blue that would just pop its wings out and do like the two-step back and forth on people?
Yeah, yeah, it's like black and then it has the big blue stripe on it.
Yeah, like how
Yeah.
the fuck did like all of a sudden like some bird see somebody having like another bird having a stroke doing that and be like, I want to fuck that.
Yeah, so
Like,
in that case, likely so in general, just like, since we're talking about birds, in
yeah,
general, the males are a lot more brightly colored, and the classic examples like a cardinal or like a peacock or something like that.
wood duck.
Um yes, yeah, where the males are super brightly colored, and the females are like gray. So in that case, I would say, there must have been some random mutation that made that bird a little brighter, or something like that. And usually what it is it's a signal to the female that they're the best possible mate I could have. Like they're very healthy
Yeah.
because
Well,
they're,
I know the coloration that I've known
yeah.
for a while, but it's more of like the mating quote unquote dances and shit, like
Yeah.
in birds and
So
spiders, like
so weird.
I,
So weird.
where and like where did this when did this like that's the shit that also I'd love to find out, like when did this start?
Yeah, that's no, that's a good that is outside of my field, but I am also very curious because I mean those dances are things that they can get very complex.
Yeah, like it's been memed up a lot, but like the different birds bringing like strings of blue and red and yellow and stuff, and like
Mhm.
that will affect whether or not the colors and the size and like that's insane.
Yeah,
Like, oh my goodness, like just fucking nature's just weird,
it is. It is
cool,
very
weird
weird. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool, but it's crazy.
compared to what like our science fiction is. I mean, science fiction as a whole is pretty tame compared to nature,
Yeah. Um,
right?
Nature's the original horror story.
Oh, fucking A right. Like, even down to the vegetation. Like, that just, everything's trying to eat everything else.
Oh man, I love carnivorous plants. I think they're so cool.
Yeah, but makes me glad I live in the time that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck a Venus flytrap the size of actual me. No,
Mm-mm.
no. That's why I don't go to Australia. No.
Oh yeah. No. No. Everything's definitely gonna kill you there.
Hmm. We don't need the savage land in real life. We have Australia.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. Like that would be like all the cryptids I hear about coming out of Australia, like that one giant like monitor lizard in the desert. I believe that's really there.
Yeah, I don't want to meet it. I'm good.
Especially seeing how like humans have conquered deserts and
Mhm.
their desert is left alone. No.
Yeah,
I've played I've
there's
played
a
enough
reason.
video games. Exactly,
There's a
exactly.
reason
Like
for that. There's a reason for that.
yeah, exactly. It's like we've played enough video games to know the area we are not high enough level to adventure to yet.
Mhm.
It looks like that area. It smells like that area, so we shall stay away from that
Yeah,
area,
we're good. We're good. We're good.
right? Like we discovered a little sliver of it called fucking Kimono Island. Now we know better.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. You can live in any one of your sci-fi fandoms. Not as a main character. You don't have to be a main character in the story. Which fandom would you want to live in, knowing about the fandom? Not like, let's say,
Mm,
Stargate and you're just a human in the world not knowing about it.
yeah. Hmm. I'm probably gonna have to be a little predictable here and probably go with Star Wars.
Okay, okay. That's what Al said last night. He said Clone Wars.
I think it's a fun mix of like the crazy science fiction technology, like hyperspace and lightsabers. But there's also like a comforting like rusticness to it where like
Yeah.
you still have to fix an engine,
Yeah.
you know?
It still has that old west reality feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What would you do?
ooh. Um I would love to almost my job now, but more of a natural biologist. I'd love to travel to planets and like document all the plants and animals and
Ooh.
I think that'd be fun cuz we've seen lots and lots of cool creatures and aliens throughout all the media we've seen on Star Wars and it's like, yeah, it'd be cool like how do they breathe? How do they eat? What's the
You'd go
ecosystem
full
like?
Newt Scamander.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do.
Nice, dude. That'd be fucking
Yeah, I think
badass.
that'd be fun. I would really enjoy that.
Okay, okay. What video games do you fuck with?
So right now I'm playing a lot of Splitgate. Um,
What's that?
it's very similar to Halo. It's like a multiplayer game. Very similar to
Okay.
Halo. Um, because I tried playing some Halo multiplayer recently, and I mean I've been playing Halo for 20 years, so like since it came out, and I got my ass handed to me on some multiplayer, and I used to be pretty good. So I got kind of sad about that, so I started playing Splitgate because I do a lot better on that game. Um, Been playing some Lost Ark, which is generally not my vibe, but I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I just got the Lego Star Wars saga,
Ooh,
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, so I've been playing that a lot on my Switch.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
You sat in on our round table, and you got a good dose of some of what we consider our hot takes.
Mhm.
When it comes to the modern take on the Star Wars world. And being this is your first time, I'll go a little easy on you. You know what would you have done differently? What's some of your head canon? Because we all got head canon.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for me, Ray hasn't earned Skywalker yet. That's one of my big headcanon hangups. I'm
Mhm.
not saying she shouldn't be. I'm not one of them out there like, well, she's a Palpatine, so she should be. No. If she wants to take the name of Skywalker, you have to suffer like the rest of them.
Or at least lose a hand.
Hey, bro, thank you. A leg? You want to make it different? Chop off some toes. Like, I mean, stab her in the fucking ankle or some shit. Like, what's some favorite headcanon for you?
So, I mean, so I am a big sequel fan. My room is completely I have so many Kylo Ren things, it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
I
Um
popped when I first saw. I ain't gonna lie. Knights of the Old Republic was my shit, and I saw a fucking Sith with a helmet on screen. I squealed so fucking loudly.
I mean, I watch Force Awakens, like, once a week. It's one of those comfort movies. So I watch it a lot. Um, like, I loved the dyad thing. I thought that was really interesting, a little different. Um, I just I it my issue is that, like, the movies were the last 2 just felt so rushed to
Yeah.
me. And of course, with them switching people who were running the movie, between the first one and the second and third one, um, the continuity in general was just not there. Um, I did they have to bring back Palpatine?
No.
Like, I just that's a big thing for me. Like, of course, when I was watching it, I was like, ah, okay, that's kind of cool. He came back. Like, um, I don't think it was necessary.
No. That for me, they should have brought back Thrawn for the last trilogy.
Yes, I love Thrawn.
That would have been OP.
That would have been dope, especially because, like, we don't
Mhm.
know where at the end of Rebels, like, we don't know where he is.
E- ex-
Um,
Thank you.
like, we're just like, where of just like hashtag where's Thrawn, hashtag where's Ezra, like, what is happening?
Yeah, like that was one of the things that kind of like didn't sit too well with me is that it's like okay, you want to bring in new characters for the main people in the movie, cool. What about all this other cool shit you already had to play with? Let's play with that.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, I recently just kind of got into the Legends books, really enjoying them because I'm like, media, give it to me.
Yeah.
I'm a big reader too, so I tear through books pretty quickly.
Oh
Um,
shit.
but yeah, I mean, they're like, oh, there's no material to work with. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how many, like just books, just
Yeah.
books?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what? Oh, the comic books, and then
Yeah.
the video games, like. All this stuff has been running in the background for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean some people don't get, that far into it. A lot of people are, they watch the movies and that's pretty much it. And that's totally fine, but the thing is like
Yeah.
there is so much more.
Yeah. Exactly. Even even
Cool stuff.
even just taking away legend stuff and just
Yeah.
looking at what we have now. Like there is so much unused shit. Like just even in the books, like when we got Cobb Van in the fucking Mandalorian, he was a throwaway character.
Yep.
Like, and now everybody's popping over him, and all the shit that people are really liking in the new stuff, besides like, excuse me, Ahsoka and Cobb, it's Legends. Like Rogue One is Legends.
Yeah, I made a couple notes to bring up while we were doing the podcast, and I have a note here that says animated series watchers are winning right now.
Yes, they are. Oh
Uh,
my god, they are. Bad
because
Batch
like
is my shit.
oh yeah, I love Bad Batch. I think I mentioned yesterday, like when I was listening in on you guys, that I'm rewatching the Clone Wars right now. I just finished
Yep.
rewatching Rebels. And the people who are watching that stuff are getting rewarded in
Yes.
all of the new stuff because, like, what was it? We were watching a Book of Boba Fett, and my boyfriend never watched any of the Clone Wars or anything, and Cad Bane
Leave him.
shows up.
Red flag. Red
No,
flag. Red flag. He's
he's
done.
been I know. I'm slowly I'm getting him into it slowly.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
working on it. He's like, why do I need to watch it when I have the encyclopedia right here?
B.
But like when Cad Bane shows up, it's like unless you knew his history, unless you knew who he was, you were just like, who's this guy in the giant hat?
Yep.
Like
Uh-huh.
you don't
Uh-huh.
get that moment of like, oh my god, he is real.
Yep.
Um,
Of why that voice of Cop Van.
I mean,
What?
I mean, or even the stuff with Ahsoka. It's like there are 7 seasons plus Rebels of Ahsoka background, and it's like because I mean, she's a great character. I love her so much.
Yes.
Um, but like you don't get that struggle of her. You know, like her entire question is like, what does it mean to be a Jedi? Like that's her whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is like she's constantly struggling with trying to do what's right and follow what her masters are saying. But that little part of her never stops saying like, is this right though?
Yeah.
Like, are we handling this correctly?
It's
Um,
that her as a viewer's lens is, in my opinion, as better than Ezra. Like I loved
yeah.
Ezra, don't get me
Oh yeah.
wrong, but when Ahsoka came into the picture, that was the curious question for me. Especially when it's summed up with that one exchange that's been memed everywhere. Revenge is not a Jedi trait.
Yeah.
I am no Jedi.
Yes.
Like,
Um,
oh, yes, bitch, yes,
and especially like with in the movie context, we don't really get to see someone who like I mean, she started off at the temple as like a teeny tiny baby.
yeah. She
Like we
walked
we
away for good reason.
yeah,
Like,
like we see her transition from a whiny little Padawan to, you know,
hmm
someone who really had a hard time with her morals and,
and
trying to decide what's
unfortunately,
really right.
yeah, and unfortunately, as far as characters go, we kind of got that with Finn, and that
Mm-mm.
all went to,
Oh man,
and
after I saw Force Awakens, I was like, we're gonna have a new Jedi because like you get the vibe like he's force sensitive.
then
Um,
fucking at the end of it, she picks up the lightsaber full on, like, we're gonna have two new Jedi,
yeah,
two?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Like I was
Um,
like I when I saw them both using the same lightsaber, I legit had a fucking image in my head for the second movie of there being a fight where they're force throwing the lightsaber back and forth to each other.
yes, yeah.
Like some shit like that. Like one up the lightsaber ability, the lightsaber shit of the prequels.
And
One up that shit.
and
And
Finn
they
was really
didn't.
yeah, and I mean, and Finn was really fun too because like he was a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's all he learned was to was to fight and he got into that same moral dilemma of like okay they're telling me this is right but is it right.
It's it's not.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did not make him Lando's kid. That was one of the things that I was worried about with them being
Yeah.
that Disney racist, where all black people are related to each other. I mean,
Yeah.
it was always a funny joke, like in personal circles, like all white people know each other, all black people know each
Right.
other, but like in like the not in something as out front as Star Wars, you can't do that.
No.
All right.
And then what happens in the second and third movie? The second movie, his only line is him screaming Ray, like
Yeah.
over and over again. Um, and it's almost the same thing in the third movie. It's just like, okay, cool. I guess we're just gonna ignore that. That's fine.
The
Not
stormtrooper not realizing that other stormtroopers can fly.
yeah. I was like,
Like,
what?
yeah. And it's like people are gonna hear this and think we're shitting on them. It's like, no, we're fans showing you what not to do again.
Ugh, Yeah, it was bad. Um,
Because like the shows, the animated shows and the live action shows have shown us that we deserve so much more, and we
yeah,
can have it within a PG environment.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because a lot of people do hate on the animated shows, and like, yeah, I get it. I mean, The Bad Batch looks really good animation wise.
Yeah, I didn't like the Rebels animation.
Which
I'm
which it's a turn
the,
off. Like, I can
the
totally get that.
stories, the stories. Oh, skeet, 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 motherfucker! Like, but the animations, like, just let me close my eyes right quick and tell me what's happening. I just, and it's like the new movies could have been so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I would have really liked to see, because okay, we got like 5 seconds of Dark Ray. That was one of my favorite things about that movie.
That right there is one of my is my headcanon of how she could have earned the name Skywalker.
I'm like,
So,
we already knew Ben was turning,
yep,
obviously. And I'm like, why didn't, cuz and then, she gets called to that dark part of the island when she's, like with Luke in
yep.
Last Jedi. And it's like, we already know there's darkness in her. Like,
We had
let's
the
explore
foreshadowing.
that. Let's explore that.
She could have had her struggle as soon as, like, the part where she passes the lightsaber back when she
Yeah.
puts it behind her head and they do the cool ass teleport.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect part for Palpatine, because I grew up with all the Legends books before he was this ninja bouncing all over the place, tall version of Yoda, which I fucking hated.
Yeah.
Because keep Palpatine as the Black Sorcerer and Darth Vader as his Black Knight.
Yeah.
That worked. It gave Palpatine a perceived vulnerability that he can't fight, when in reality he just doesn't have to. And with Palp being in dark sorcery mode now, she passes a lightsaber, goes to bed. Palp grabs her, and due to all her previous, foreshadowing and fuckery, falls to the dark side real quick. Using plot armor, and with her being basically his creation, he already has her Sith side stuff there ready, so, we can slap her in her quote unquote Sith armor. Ben arrives, and they have a fight, and either Ben dies redeeming her, or, some shit
Mhm.
happens, but that would have been the perfect instance for her to fall to the dark side and have her redemption arc in the same 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would have loved to see that. And then, Ben come back and like try to turn her back.
Ben earns the Skywalker name more than she did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought that was very, I mean, I
Throwaway.
get, I get like, okay, like, yes, you did train with Luke, like, yes, you did train a bit with Leia. But like, I don't know. And then the whole ending of that movie, it's just
It ended as it should have for the second movie.
I was like,
That
What? What?
for me, that the way Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker ended, was seems like that's what JJ had in mind for the second movie, and then
Yes,
something more
yes.
was to come.
Yeah, like, we see her bury that and whatever happens, and then like, you know, then we
A
can have her
star
like,
destroyer comes into orbit, blocking out the suns, or
yeah.
some type of literal or figurative foreshadowing. But yeah, it
Also,
was,
her lightsaber was the her Sith lightsaber was dope.
yeah,
So cool. We get the mall vibes from like the double end, but like the way that it opened, that was fun. So
yeah,
fun. And I like that we got to see Kylo's cross guard, because that's like an old Sith design, which is pretty cool.
yes, that
Uh,
was pretty fucking sick.
you know, um, like, it's good. There are things I liked. But overall, the story just went off the rails a bit for me. But I
The
mean, visually, it was
gorgeous.
oh yeah, it was incredible. Visually, I was just like, wow.
It,
But
it for me, it's a prime example of people in power that need to be told no.
yeah, I think, I know they were probably, on a timeline to get everything filmed and stuff, but it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter how good it looks if the
That fuck
story, it's got to have a good story. It's got to be. you know?
That's thrown, but it's like that's what makes me mad about these movies, and I hate to sound so like emotional about the shit, but it's like you said, 20 years we kept this fandom alive. And after the badass cartoons, the hankiness that is the prequels,
Mhm.
you finally have the opportunity to continue the story. And you think, and you in the Disney Star Wars sense, think it's a good idea to not reshoot that throne room fight scene from The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to kill Snoke or whatever. I'm not talking about the plot. I'm talking about that guard that's going to come in and decapitate Rey and then stops and totally changes direction.
Yeah.
Like, bro, no. No. Right?
Yeah, it
We
was
deserve so much better.
a lot of mixed feelings. But I do
But
like them.
it's I do, I mean, I do too, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like people are so afraid to actually say that, well, I didn't like this part, because then they'll be viewed as a hater, or you're not liking this character because they're this and this. It's like, no, you stupid fucking cunt muffin. I am older than you. I know what already happened in these movies before you were even a fucking sperm in your fucking milkman's fucking nutsack. Like,
With the prequels, everyone was, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, they have their moments. But it's like, everyone absolutely hated the sequels.
the,
People
the
like, Hayden Christensen got like bullied nonstop for everything, and it's just like, but now people have that nostalgia.
well, there's the nostalgia, and
Like they
there's
love them.
also those people that, were the ones that were there, like they are now. They're a very small minority that was vocal as fuck,
Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff was mutated criticism,
Mm.
because of, like, a lot of us were like, yeah, sorry, Anakin's fucking stiff. Anakin's got shitty ass lines.
Yep.
And then there's most of us that realize the type of actor Hayden Christensen is. My Life as a Motherfucking House, one of the best, best independent motherfucking films ever fucking
Mm.
made.
Yeah.
Goddamn tearjerker. And he's given the I hate sand.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
mean, the dialogue is just not. It's not good. Not good.
forgive my inner fucking South Side, but I'm about to have a Kevin Hart moment up here and be like, mother, the fuck, like, you don't give these top caliber. You did it. You lucked out with Alec Guinness and
Oh yeah.
Harrison Ford and
Yeah.
and like all these
I
great.
mean,
You lucked
Ewan
out.
McGregor, like, Liam Neeson, like, are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Like,
Natalie Portman,
Natalie Portman, like, come on.
the bad bitch from motherfucking The Professional, at 13 years old. Like,
Oh, I
people
love
like
that
thinking.
movie.
I remember when that first came out, and the press, they were thinking that she was just like a little person.
Yeah,
Like, no, she's a child.
yeah,
Like, minus the weird creepy shit for the shit she did in the movie. The
yeah,
fact that a child held that, like, and you want to put her in Star Wars, you better be coming with some Shakespeare shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like, that was the main beef, and it's like, and just how George Lucas came off as, oh, you're bad fans because you don't like this and this, that. It's like, no, no. You see, before you came with this, we already, paid for the license and started creating this world, and then you came in and had a hissy fit because you didn't write it. You didn't come up with these ideas that are making people millions and millions of dollars
Mm,
and spawning more merchandise. So you want to go cry and talk all this shit, and guess what? Fuck you. That's where that shit mainly came from.
yeah,
With people shitting on the people versus George Lucas, because there's some stuff in there I agree with, and some stuff I disagree with.
yeah,
But for the most part, George Lucas needs to shut the fuck up.
yeah. And I mean, also, I think it's important. It's very important to be critical of things that you like as well.
Yes,
and also things you don't like, that's fine. Like, you're like, yeah, I obviously I love Star Wars, but
Mhm.
there's also
And
a
even
lot of issues, and that's okay. You know?
even if we're sitting here and I like shit that you dislike and you dislike shit that I like,
Mhm.
it does not matter, and it's not going to change the nature of our friendship
Yeah.
because we both may be assholes. We both may be earning our C in the motherfucking cuntage, but we can still have a conversation, discuss how we choose to discuss in different
Mhm.
tones and uses of words, but we still respect each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like I will fucking go toe to toe with everybody all day and be like, yes, Ray has not earned Skywalker. She may be one, but she has not earned it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And there are people out there that will defend it to the tooth and nail that she has. And agree to disagree, but let's talk about it and create the dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's just me and equality and all that. How
Yep.
fucking dare I? Like the whole Rose thing. Like, yeah, you had your like, of course, you're gonna have your fucking racists out there. We're always gonna have racists as long as humanity exists. We'll always have extremely negative bigotry, because bigotry is just one of those words that just has that negative connotation. But there
Mhm.
are some, positive forms of stuff we don't like. Like we're not supposed to like arsenic. That's good bigotry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like all the hate that came with Rose, like Rose started out being a decent character, and then the Last Jedi got her, and they turned her into a punk.
Yep.
And the actress was good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really liked I liked her.
It's like the actress, good. The character, shit.
Yeah.
There's a difference, but unfortunately, we have folk that'll be like, "Well, you just hate her because she's an Asian woman, and you don't like Asian women." It's like, check my Pornhub history. Survey says that that's a lie.
My search history
Um,
will beg to differ.
right? Like, no, my love of anime and my absolute fascination with the progression and the extremely documented way that all Asian societies basically are folded into each other. I love it. But that character was a steaming hot pile of Stegosaurus shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big difference, and the same thing would happen with the prequels. It's like there's a lot of people out there that were either trolling to troll, and with the internet being so new, people were learning what a troll and actual hate was.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Yeah, the kid who played Anakin, he got the dirty side of the stick because he actually read the shit, and
Yeah, and
that's part of the problem. Don't read it. Don't read the
yeah,
comments.
I mean, what's crazy is, like, I've never I always like Darth Vader, he's just always been super cool. Plus,
Yeah.
classic trilogy. Um, but, like, I never really I was like, "Anakin, whatever." And then I started watching the Clone Wars, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
It's like, there's some depth to him. And,
Oh yeah.
and the movies just you don't get that. You don't get that at all.
No, we've never the movies have always required the the supplementary material to bring all the
Mhm.
depth to their characters,
Yeah.
even in the original, even in the OT. It's just George Lucas's absolute love and adherence to the movie and film storytelling style.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but it's not for things like that. You can't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Like you need to have lead-ins and lead-offs, and having your marketing coordinate with your supplementary material to guide people in. And we can do it nowadays,
Yeah.
but people just need to actually do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but George should have had more of a backseat role for the prequels. But it should not have been the Separatist army. We should have seen them fighting the last remnants of the Mandalorians.
That would have been dope.
That was one of the big rumbles back in the day when we first saw the tank
Mhm.
with the face, because if that was very Mandalorian, as close, one of those things
Yeah.
that was just like, hold up, hold, when is this taking place? Like, And then we realized when that shit was dropping that there was a reason why George Lucas, when he was licensing the books and said it in many interviews, I don't care with what you do after the original trilogy. I'm not ever going to make any more movies on that.
Hmm.
Leave beforehand alone. And the only things that got licensed beforehand were the Old Republic and shit like that, like the
Yeah.
Great Hyperspace Wars, which is another great read,
Hmm.
the Golden Age of the Sith. But the Tales of Jabba's Palace and the Bounty Hunter tales, those are the only stuff that was allowed to be told a little bit before what happened on Yavin 4,
Right.
because he was making the trilogy, the
Yeah.
prequels. And he just wanted to tell Darth Vader's story. That's all he wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And that's why the Legends books are so badass. Like the Night Sisters that we like, the Night Sisters in the cartoons,
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, so
Awesome.
cool. So cool.
The Rancor riding Force witches will eat the Night Sisters for dinner.
Yeah.
Like that when they talked about them in the Book of Boba Fett, I
Yeah.
popped. I
Yeah.
was like, they're a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like for those,
in the Clone Wars, you get all that cool Mandalorian stuff too.
yeah. I mean, they did a decent job with portraying of Mandalorian culture. They did take a lot of the stuff from the Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic area, which was very
Hmm.
smart to do.
Yeah.
Once again, the best stuff coming from fucking Legends.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not trying to just beat a dead stick here, but or beat a dead horse with a stick, but it is what it fucking is. It's
Yeah.
like, and now we have Filoni and like Bryce Dallas Howard. She needs her own show and her own set of movies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Would love
Like,
it. Would love it.
as someone in nerd culture, like there's a lot of people out there be like, oh, well, you gatekeep against women, or you people gatekeep. It's like we don't gatekeep based on demographics. We gatekeep based on how well someone actually shows they love something. You don't have to know everything about a fandom to show that you love it.
Yeah.
Like you just have to show that it's in your fucking heart. And those are the people that we don't gatekeep from. Like if
Yeah.
someone's just like a casual fan, okay, cool. Then you're a casual fan. Be what you are.
Yeah.
Don't sit here and just be like, oh well, I've been a Star Wars fan and this that I love, blah, 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 and then you actually start having a conversation and you start to feel stupid and like, well, you're just gatekeeping. You just it's like, no, you just talking out your motherfucking ass.
Yep.
Like because there's tons of shit I don't fucking know about Star Wars. I know a lot,
Oh, I mean,
but
there's yeah, it's just like there's so much though. Like
yeah.
so much.
Like I mean, even to the point of the stuff where I do know for a fact, half the time it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's this, and this.
Hmm.
And I may be 100% accurate, but at this point, you just say it as that because you're still not 100%
Yeah.
sure. It's like I think Luke and Leia are brother and sister, right? Yeah,
Is
is
that
that how it
why?
goes? Vader's their father. What?
That's crazy.
Like I mean, but that's just that in depth. Same with Doctor Who. Same
Oh,
with
jeez.
like
Yeah. When you got
same
60
with Stargate.
years worth of media,
Oh,
a
yes.
lot. It's a lot.
And once again, making it Doctor Who superior to fucking Star Wars. Everything's canon.
Yep.
Like that is the biggest thing that will always fucking make me I truly like be ashamed to be around some Star Wars fans is like those that I see out there that are just, well, that's Legends and this is canon. They're that unnatural happy,
Yeah.
like that Disney store happy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
even when
as
they're disagreeing with you and they're mad, they just have that fake fucking smile on their face.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I don't like people.
yeah,
Sorry.
there's just no reason for it. And as, I'm very active in the Star Wars community on TikTok, and it's like I have friends who've gotten death threats for just cosplaying as certain characters.
Yeah,
Um and it's just like, okay, if you don't like something, that's perfectly fine. There's an entire universe, you're not going to like every single thing in it. Um
right.
But it's like, but there's no need to tell someone to unalive themselves because they dress as a character. Like that's a little
No,
much.
no.
Um,
If you and I, like, especially in a public setting like that, if
yeah,
anything, that's a private joke.
yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times that I've told people that I love and dear that I'm gonna come murder them, like in game and like just shit
Oh,
talking.
oh
Like
yeah, that's fine. But like but for like a total
no,
to put that
no,
effort into a total stranger that you're never ever gonna talk to again. Like, I mean, every time I say I'm a
no.
Star Wars fan, someone's always like, well, okay, well then in episode 3 at mark 2 hour, minute 2 and 55 seconds, like what's on the screen?
Your mom. Next question.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's
that
just
that
like
you always have. It doesn't matter. You'll have that in anything, and that's the thing that
yeah,
pisses me off because people are like, "Well, it's like, oh, there's all these guys doing it." It's like women fucking do it
yeah.
too.
Yeah, they do.
Stop it with the sexist shit.
Yeah.
Asshole knows no demographic.
Yeah.
Cunt is a universal word. It applies to everybody.
Yep.
Like I've always viewed like bitch as more of a female centered insult and
Yeah.
cunt just being everybody. But then again, I grew up on more BBC.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's I don't I it pisses me off seeing that shit like real talk. I've never been that type where I've seriously acted like that with somebody.
Yeah,
Like
it's like, why? Like, if someone's just like, "Oh, I just watched Star Wars for the first time. I really like, this character." It's like, "Well, that's awesome. Hopefully I hope you watch more. That's
I
cool."
mean, if it's like somebody's thread that like even then you have to like know your shit. Yeah, in general, that's exactly what you say. But it's like I've had shit where it's like, oh man, I really like Jar Jar, and just be like, LOL, why? Like just that really dry Chandler humor. But it's like I I know
But
there are people out there that can't stand Ace that fucking hate Ace as a companion.
yeah.
She's one of my first crushes.
Yeah.
Like she Tom Baker was the very, very first instance of Doctor Who that I saw on TV,
Mhm.
but the seventh Doctor, the sixth Doctor was my Doctor with the
Yeah.
Ronnie and all that, and it's just like oh, the things I would have done to Ace as a little fucking kid. Oh my god, like for real, as like young version of JP, I'd have fucking had fun in her. I wish I was an American ass. But like, there's people that hate her, that absolutely despise her as a character,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
But
It's like just
not at the same time for some reason.
yeah, just be chill, man. Like, chill.
Yeah, like
Calm down.
it's like I'm sorry, get a little worked up. This motherfucker happens. I'm not trying to go Alex Jones. It irritates the shit out of me because like we could still sit here and have a heated, emotional, verbal confrontation beyond the conversation,
Mhm.
but still walk away as people. But as soon as you remove the vocal and verbal aspect of it, and it's strictly words on a page, fools think they can get away with whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, God, it's saddening.
Yeah.
Or even worse, now that we have like a lot of like good female lens driven movies, people from the other side now are shit talking. Oh, this
Yep.
wasn't made for you. Bitch, I'm a nerd and I've been supporting this fucking fandom since before your tits developed. Yes, this is made for me. You're just sexualizing these people. Well, one, no, I've been a fan since this issue and this issue and this appearance. And two, if people didn't sexualize your characters to one degree or the other, they wouldn't spend their money on them. If they
Mhm.
didn't spend their money, none of these posters and action figures and all this stuff you're saying is not for my viewing wouldn't exist.
Looks around room at all Kylo Ren merchandise.
Exactly. Like, dude, Kylo Ren, oh my, like, dude, that fucking helmet.
I
Like,
uh I have I have that helmet.
nice, bro.
So my I know that the listeners can't see it, but my little icon thing on my Discord, that's actually me in cosplay.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's the Black Series helmet. Yeah,
Nice,
pretty
dude.
cool. I love it. I feel so badass in that costume. I'm short, but
I
I
was gonna
feel
say,
badass.
how tall are you?
I am 5'4".
Aw, kitty
I know.
Kylo.
I'm a little Kylo Ren. No, I'm not Adam
It's the
Driver's
pocket
6'3".
Kylo.
I should make TikToks about tiny Kylo Ren.
I have a proposal that we should somehow figure out how to do. You as Kylo Ren, me as a Jawa, and we go out in public.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I might have to draw a little comic or something because that sounds great.
Right? Like, dude, like I've one Jawas are fucking cool. They are one of my favorite
Oh, I
fantasy
love them. They're
races.
they're so great. Little
I love how
teeny.
they did it, dude, and how badass they made him in the Mandalorian.
They were
Like,
they're just like funny. They're funny too, like
and they are about that life.
yeah.
Like they may very much have the rat mentality of we will run away, but if you corner a Jawa, it'll fuck you up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't want to run into those guys.
No, no. There's like that would be a cool series. Like, excuse me, but with the whole Newt Scamander of Star Wars, like that really would be a cool ass series.
Yeah.
Like where you're talking like that needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
I
from like
mean,
a fan films type of standpoint, that would be
that
dope.
that would be cool. I know like book wise they have these visual dictionaries of some of the movies
Yeah,
and stuff where you could definitely get like a lot more detail on the random items in the universe. Um but I mean they're just it'd be cool to know more about them.
like that actually should be a show they need to look at doing.
Mhm.
Like a not like a DS9 version in Star Trek, like just like an outpost or
Yeah.
something where just life happens there and they're just part of it.
Yeah. That would be
'Cause
cool.
we get it a lot in the books,
Mhm.
like especially the one where I think it's the not Star Killer, the ship that's the planet killer. I can't remember the name of the fucking ship, but they go to this outpost and it's home to a race called the Ghostlings, where they look exactly like human beings, except that their skin is their bodies are so delicate that if they're ever with a human being, like having sex, they die.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, dude, there's like some weird shit. There's a bunch of crazy shit in Legends.
I mean, like, yeah,
But
like I just finished rewatching just finished reading Heir to the Empire, the first of the Thrawn series legends. And I mean, there are creatures, the Yelasamari or something.
hmm
They could like repel the force. That's
yeah,
crazy. That's such a cool concept.
yeah,
I love it.
like it's stuff that they brought out in the prequels. Like
Yeah.
like if you're gonna say that force is based off of a genetic thing, like the mito your M count, since I can't say the
Yeah.
word. You know, if you're basing your stuff off of that, then it's going to have things are going to develop a natural resistance to it.
Yeah.
And dude, like, yeah, those fucking creatures are just.
Yeah. So, that's just one of the random fun creatures of Star Wars that we don't really get to see. Um But it's also just so cool to see something that's like that you can use against the Jedi because a lot of the
Yep.
times, it's just like, oh, how do we beat these guys? They can use the Force. It's like, well,
Shotguns.
we have these lizards that
Yep.
repel the Force actually. So problem solved.
Yeah, we'll just bring them along with us. I
Yeah,
mean, then we have shotguns.
I love that.
So
Yeah.
you haven't met Mara Jade yet.
So she was introduced and that's about it.
Mm, yeah, you
So
haven't met Mara Jade yet.
yeah, like I said, I just finished the first book. I need to buy the second and third ones.
Yes, you do.
But I also so right after I finished that one, I just started the third book for the High Republic because I've been enjoying that
Okay,
one a bit. Yeah, good stuff.
nice. Like the easiest way I can sum up Mara Jade is take take Anakin and Luke, merge their force powers together, and then you take the personality of Michelle Gomez as Missy,
Hmm.
and you give her unlimited reputation, credits, and ability to do shit as the right hand of the Emperor.
Wow. I'm
Yeah,
stoked.
she's a
I'm stoked.
firecracker.
Yeah, I mean,
She's the
even just
mm,
the short like bit, like, cause it was just like her interacting with Luke a little bit. Even those short interactions, I was like, okay, she a baddie. Okay,
yeah.
all
You're
right,
gonna
I see it.
you're gonna see after you finish reading those books why everybody was so mad at George Lucas when he came out and said, "Oh well, I would never would have had Luke Skywalker get married. You know, this Mara Jade person. You know, I didn't create. That's not one of my characters." When
Yeah, I
he
mean,
you're gonna like no spoilers,
okay, yeah.
no.
Spoilers
But
from 40 years ago.
I understand there's a lot of women that don't like the word bitch.
Yeah,
Mara Jade is that bitch.
yeah.
And I add the O in there for very good reason.
Mhm.
She has her own video game.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. She's the first character. I have to say it like this: real Star Wars fans will pull out before we had Ahsoka when people would be like, "Oh, you don't like strong female characters."
Mhm.
Mara Jade, shut the
March.
fuck up.
Yep.
End of story. Like, because for like after the original trilogy, you had the books and the comic books, and then video games started coming out.
Right.
The very first one being Dark Forces,
Yep.
which where we get Rogue One for it. But then we also learned the character Kyle Katarn,
Mhm.
and that is. Have you played those at all? Have you seen them?
No, so I I've actually played very, very few Star Wars games. I've just recently, like, I just started Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
I played some Battlefront 2, really enjoyed
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I'm working my way through those, and a lot of it was just like I wasn't playing. So were a lot of those on like PC?
Yes,
Okay,
PC,
so
and then they got
that's
ported
why.
to console. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
The Dark Forces Jedi Academy series was the very first time we saw live action Jedi and Sith since Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Mara in that franchise was then during the time the books brought about Mara Jade and started folding in with Luke having his own Jedi Academy. There
Mhm.
is an expansion to that. I forget the exact name of it, but you play as Mara Jade.
Oh.
Like, yeah, she's that baddie McBad bad bitch. Like, she is a bad bitch. Where like I said, people want to be like, y'all don't know about strong characters. We worship the ground this person that she walks on. We
Mhm.
love her so much. She got her own video game, and she's just a book character.
Yeah, like, I mean, everyone was talking about her so much. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm like, I need to start reading some of the legend stuff, just like get some background and but everyone's like, oh, but it's not canon. I'm like, I don't really care. It's more Star Wars, and that's
You,
really all I
yeah,
care about.
I
Um,
hate I as much as I hate people saying from one spectrum or the other. Fandoms are a great fucking area.
yeah.
Like I don't like when even comes to Doctor Who. It's like I don't like with what they did with Jodie, and I know Russell T
Mhm.
Davies is going to come in there and
Oh,
use
good.
his. Yeah, he's coming back.
Thank
He's
God.
coming back. The guy who did all his soundtracks is coming back.
Yes.
Um, and he's going to fix it, but that doesn't make it not canon.
Right.
Like
It is.
I don't
Yeah, it
like,
is.
yeah, I don't like Colin Baker. I'm not a fan of his Doctor. I
Mhm.
understand the bullshit and the drama that went behind it. I like the stuff he did in the radio dramas for Big Finish,
Mhm.
but I just don't like his portrayal of the Doctor. That doesn't mean it's not canon. It didn't happen. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Like I'm not knocking him as the actor he is outside of Doctor Who that earned him that role because he's a badass actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just I can skip through it till I get to the Ronnie episodes, and then I'll move on from there.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things actually about reading that Heir to the Empire was Luke is like contemplating his life choices like on a rooftop and he's like
Ooh.
drinking chocolate milk.
Yep.
It's so great. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that is I don't care. That's canon to me. I really don't care.
Like that was the same thing with Yavin 4. Like, so
Yeah.
you haven't gotten, yeah, what is Heir to the Empire your like real first like Legends deep dive?
It is. It is. Yeah, I've got a stack of like 4 or 5 more books to get
Oh,
through.
baby doll.
I know
Oh, bless your heart.
I am just starting and I'm
So
very
you don't
excited.
know about our Lord and Savior Exar Kun yet.
I do not.
Okay, so fuck the tale of Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis is a whore. Exar Kun was from the golden age of the Old Republic.
Mm,
He he's in the comic books. I'm not going to spoil his story, but the main thing with Exar Kun is that he basically created the double-bladed lightsaber. His original lightsaber was a hilt and a half, where he
mm,
was so in tune with the Force, dark and light side, because he fell to the dark side,
mm.
where he could basically use both blades at the same time and just chop through everything.
That's dope.
Um, Darth Maul was originally going to be the hilt and a half,
Ah.
but you can't do it in real life. Ray Park tried. He just can't do it. So it became the double bladed. But in Legends, quote unquote, the temple on Yavin 4,
Mhm.
Exar Kun created that out of the Force.
Oh.
And that's where like he lived. So it's like if you can find old enough novelizations, there's some parts in there where they talk about the eerie feelings Luke has on Yavin 4 in the New Hope because it's a dark side temple.
Yeah.
And in the
Oh.
comics and later on in the books, he goes there and there's a fight because Luke sets up his Jedi Academy there, and it's like, yeah, dude, the Legends is like, dude,
Oh,
oh my god,
I'm stoked to get into it. I read mostly like all the newer Thrawn books. That's kind of how I started with the Star Wars books, and
yeah, they did okay with Thrawn. I will
yeah,
give them that.
I liked it.
You'll see why I say this. They did good. They didn't do great.
Mhm.
But I realize why they couldn't do great. Be, be as rooted in the Nazi party as Disney is, you can't put Thrawn on a screen nowadays because he was a Nazi.
Mhm.
Like you'll see. Yeah, um you've read Grand Moff Tarkin's book?
I have not.
Um, have you heard about like how evil and rotten he was as a character?
Yeah, yeah.
He Thrawn makes Grand Moff Tarkin look like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they toned him down from what you're about to be reading. Yeah.
Oh snap.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's why we say that Star Wars is not just for children anymore. Those
yeah.
book like the Legends books was not made for children. It was made for us that grew up with the original movies.
Yeah, and like after watching all the cuz I just watched the Clone Wars for the first time in
Mm.
2020.
I'm so
So
I'm
as a
so jealous of you, bro. Like real talk, dude. Like you're man, I wish I could erase my fucking memory and go on this journey with you right now. I'm so jealous. Like all these experiences, man. You're saying about the Clone Wars, or please keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying that like, that was the first time I watched that series and I was just like, okay, okay, so the other stuff is pretty cool too. And then, my friends were recommending all the books to me and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I need to get in I need to get into those." So
Yes.
I am working on it.
Like you have such a journey ahead of you, and if you can find the books on audio, you'll breeze through them a lot quicker. But like I was saying last night, they literally start about 20 minutes to half an hour after um uh the last Death Star explodes.
Yeah, so
Like
usually when I'm reading a physical book. And I at my job, I work very independently. Like
Mhm.
7 out of 8 hours of the day, I have my headphones in. So I'm usually also listening to like an audiobook while I work. And the Star Wars ones are great because they have all the sound effects and stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah. They actually turn them into actual well, proper audio dramas.
Yeah.
Now
And
you have to get into the comic books.
yes, I actually just downloaded Marvel Unlimited to start watch.
Oh,
I've read all the there's like the 4 Kylo Ren comic books I own and have read those a lot. And I also have some of the Darth Vader comics I've been reading through. So,
you
um,
need to. I know. I'm guessing you make good money.
I do all right.
Um.
I
Okay.
have a lot of
So
toys.
you're gonna go and find the Dark Horse Star Wars comic books.
Mhm.
You don't. I as elder Star Wars fan to new Star Wars fan, I am giving you a quest.
Quest.
You can choose not to accept it if you want. Of course, all quests are optional. However, you need to go read the Great Hyperspace Wars and the Golden Age of the Sith.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds like something
Um,
I'd be into.
so originally how hyperspace was set up was that the huts were the ones that were establishing the spacing lanes, and they'd like this great discovery, you could puncture through space and navigate your way through. And there were explorers out there. There were different lanes that paid different, like, okay, we think this lane going this way should be safe with the migrating of these meteorites and asteroids, and you were the guinea pig.
Mhm.
And there was one that was worth a absolute shit ton of money, and his team went on it, and they ended up back at the Sith species homeworld,
Mm.
where it's like the name Sith comes from, is a species of red-skinned beings with like horns on their face and shit, really trippy, cool looking.
Yeah.
But basically, it's one of those like, um, fuck this shit, I'm out. Turn around. Like some shit happens, but basically they turn around and come back. And they bring the Sith Empire inadvertently with them.
Dun dun dun.
So it's like you have like, well, I mean, it's pretty cheesy. It's Star Wars after all. It's not like fucking really really out there, but still it's a good plot.
Yeah.
And like you have the Jedi, that's basically, you have some dark side users, some minor Sith here popping up, but nothing like Dark Nihilus or anything like that. And you have a Sith armada just pop through what you thought was an uncharted nothing at the end of the hyperspace lane.
Oof.
No, no, no. Here's an empire of ultimate evil that's been thriving for thousands of years.
Oh man, that's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Like, dude, they go into the fucking like the proto lightsabers when they still had the fucking charger cords attached to them, and they didn't have lightsaber throws. Like, all types of
Crazy.
insanity. Like, dude, like the old Republic shit is some of my favorite. It's just so cool.
Yeah, that all sounds like stuff I wanna get into.
Hmm. Oh, and it's Dark Horse, so it's like
Yeah.
it's high caliber comics, so it's just so good. But we are coming to the end of our time before you have to
Mhm.
go adult, or don't we, my friend?
Yeah, it's lame.
All right. Well, dude, you're welcome back anytime you want.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'll, once I get into some of those books, we can always do a little discussion.
Hey, man, I'm down for whenever, whatever. It's
Yeah.
like whenever you want to come back on, you are more than welcome. But thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you have a great evening.
Yeah, you too, I had fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.